Everyone told her an 85-pound German Shepherd was too much dog for a woman who was barely holding on. A big, sharp-eyed, black and tan animal bred to work and to guard. And they all said the same thing. That breed is too intense, too dangerous, the last thing someone like you needs. What none of them understood was that Riley Monroe had come home from war, and that the war had come home with her. 20 different people told her she was making a mistake, and then, on a night the whole sky was exploding and the world came apart around her, the dog everyone had called dangerous did the one thing that brought her back and left everyone who saw it shaken. This is the story of how the most feared dog on the block became the reason a soldier made it home. Riley Monroe was 29 years old and lived alone in Colorado Springs, and she had served 2 tours overseas before an honorable discharge sent her back to a country that no longer felt like the one she had left. On paper, she was fine. In truth, she had brought the war back inside her, in the way loud sounds turned her blood to ice, in the way she could not sit with her back to a door, in the nights she did not sleep at all, because sleep was where the worst of it waited. She had stopped answering her phone, she had stopped leaving the house unless she had to. The isolation had wrapped around her so slowly, she had not even noticed it closing. The hardest part, the part no one who has not lived it can understand, was how invisible it all was. From the outside, she looked like a young woman who had served and come home in one piece. Inside, she was fighting for her life every day in a war with no front line, and she was fighting it alone. She was not looking for a guard dog. A counselor at the VA had mentioned that some veterans found their footing again with a service dog, and Riley had almost laughed it off. But something in her was tired enough to try anything. So she met a German Shepherd who had washed out of a working program for being too intense, too much. And the moment that dog looked at her, something in both of them recognized something in the other. She named him Gunner. Gunner was 85 pounds of muscle and focus, and from every direction, people told her she was crazy. Her brother said a German Shepherd was a liability, that a dog like that could turn. A neighbor crossed the street when she saw them coming. Someone at the store told Riley, a woman clearly struggling, that she had no business with an animal that powerful. But here's what none of them understood, because Riley could not easily explain it. For the first time since she had come home, she was not alone with it. Gunner did not care about the war. Gunner cared about her. Gunner learned her the way only a working dog can learn a person, and slowly, he built a life around keeping her in one piece. When her hands started to shake, Gunner was there, leaning his whole weight into her, an anchor she could hold on to. When a nightmare tore her out of sleep, Gunner was already on the bed, pressing against her chest until her breathing came back down. When the walls of the house started to close in, Gunner would bring her his leash, because he had somehow learned that making her take him outside was the same as saving her. I know you are still watching but have not subscribed yet, and after a dog like Gunner, that stings a little. Tap subscribe. Everyone called this one dangerous, and subscribing is how the world finds out what he really was. With Gunner at her side, Riley started to come back to life. She started answering her phone again, she started taking Gunner to the park in the early mornings when it was quiet, then later when it was not. The hypervigilance that had run her life began in small pieces to loosen its grip, because she had 85 pounds of German Shepherd whose entire job was to watch the things she was too tired to watch. And a person can finally rest when someone they trust is standing guard. There is a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from never being able to let your guard down, and Riley had lived in it so long she had forgotten there was any other way to be. Gunner gave it back to her, not at all once, but in 100 small ways, teaching a hypervigilant nervous system that it could stand down because he had it covered. She slept some nights all the way through. She caught herself laughing once at something Gunner did, and the sound startled her because she had not heard it in over a year. The dog that 20 people had called too dangerous had given a soldier back her own life, one steady, ordinary day at a time. Gunner was gentle with her in a way that would have stunned everyone who feared him, resting his head in her lap, following her from room to room, pressing close whenever the light in her eyes went far away. But underneath that gentleness was something built for exactly one purpose, a dog who had appointed himself the guardian of a woman fighting a war no one else could see, and who was waiting, though neither of them knew it, for the night that war came roaring back. That night was the 4th of July. Riley had known it was coming and had planned for it. Doors shut, windows closed, Gunner beside her. But nothing could have prepared her for the moment the whole city erupted at once. A barrage of concussions rolling across the sky, flashes lighting the windows, the exact sound and fury her body had spent 2 tours learning to survive. And in an instant, Riley was not in Colorado Springs anymore. The living room was gone. She was back there, in the worst of it. Her mind ripped out of the present and dropped into a memory so total and so real that she came up off that couch and moved for the door in a blind panic, needing to run, to take cover, to get out, not knowing where she was or what year it was. And she went out into the dark of her own front yard with the sky screaming above her, utterly lost inside her own mind. The same dog the whole neighborhood had called dangerous, the same dog 20 people had told her to get rid of, the same 85-pound German Shepherd everyone had sworn would one day turn on her, did the thing he had trained his whole life for without a single command. Gunnar went with her. Gunnar planted himself against her legs and pressed, driving his 85 pounds of solid weight into her, an anchor of muscle and warmth in a world that had come apart, and he would not let her keep moving toward the street. Gunnar pushed his body between her and the road. He shoved his head up under her hands, forcing her to feel his fur, licking at her fingers, giving her something real and solid to hold onto in the middle of a memory that was trying to swallow her whole, grounding her, pulling her pound for pound out of the past and back into the present, back into a front yard in Colorado where the only thing touching her was a dog who loved her. This was the exact thing those working programs trained for years to produce, a dog who can interrupt a flashback and pull a human mind back across the distance from then to now. But no one had commanded Gunnar to do it. He had learned his person, learned the look of her leaving, and decided long ago that his job was to reach into that darkness and pull her out. Slowly, unbearably slowly, it worked. The feel of his fur reached her. The warmth of him reached her. Riley came back into her own body, on her knees in the grass, with both arms wrapped around 85 pounds of German Shepherd, sobbing into his neck, and she knew where she was again, and she was safe, and she was home. Gunnar had brought her back. A neighbor who saw it, who had watched a veteran in the grip of something terrible and a dog refuse to leave her, said afterward that he had never seen anything like it, an animal that seemed to understand exactly how to reach a person no one else could reach. And Riley knew, kneeling in that yard with her face buried in his fur, with a certainty she will carry for the rest of her life, that if she had listened to those 20 people, if she had gotten rid of the dog everyone feared, she would have been alone in the dark on the worst night of the year, lost inside a war with no one to lead her out. Instead, she had Gunnar. Word spread through the neighborhood the way news like that always does. The neighbor who had crossed the street started leaving him treats on the porch. Her brother, who had called Gunnar a liability, drove out to see her and got down on the floor and put his arms around that German Shepherd and cried, because he finally understood what that dog was doing for his sister every single day. Today, Gunnar is 4 years old, and he still does not leave Riley's side, still leans into her when her hands shake, still brings her his leash on the days the walls start closing in. But Riley is still here, and she is getting better, one day at a time, because a dog the world called dangerous decided that a wounded soldier was worth guarding and never once stood down. And the 20 people who swore she should get rid of him have all gone very quiet, because here is the simple truth every one of them missed. A dog is not dangerous because of his breed, or his working lines, or the sharpness of a gaze that makes strangers nervous. What makes a dog is who he decides to protect, and exactly what he is willing to do to keep them safe. Gunnar decided on the very first day that a broken soldier was his, and when the war she carried came roaring back in the dark, the breed everyone called dangerous was the one thing that could reach her and bring her home. If you are thinking about adopting a dog, especially one of the breeds the world has taught you to fear, please do not listen to the fear. Go and meet him, give him your patience and a fair chance, and understand that sometimes the dog everyone calls dangerous is the one who saves a life no one else could. because Riley did not just rescue Gunner. If you ask her, she will tell you without a moment of doubt that he rescued her, that he pulled a soldier out of a war she brought home, and that he does it again every single day simply by refusing to leave. So let me ask you honestly, would you have taken in an 85-pound German Shepherd that 20 people swore was dangerous, or would you have listened to them and let him go? Tell me in the comments. And if a dog ever pulled you out of a darkness nothing else could reach, say their name below so the next person hesitating knows what these dogs are really worth.